They call it the last wonder of the ancient world, the only one still standing. Everything else, the hanging gardens of Babylon, the great temple of Artemis, gone. But this has defied time itself. To stand here in its shadows, to feel the weight of 4,500 years. Kings have risen and fallen, empires crumbled, yet this remains. 2.3 million stones, each weighing over a ton. This was not magic, nor the work of gods or aliens. This was blood, sweat, and tears of absolute power. To finish this in 20 years, they had to work extremely hard, at least 10 to 12 hours a day, every single day. For centuries, people have searched for an answer. Were the blocks lifted by sound waves? Was it some lost technology? Or did the knowledge come from beyond our world? It is not the myths that make this remarkable. It is the impossible precision aligned within 1/20th degree of true north. No modern skyscraper, no monument today has lasted as long or has been built by such perfection. The truth is greater than the myths. It is not the gods, it wasn't aliens nor magic. It was something far more powerful. Human will, a civilization's belief in its ruler, the force of an empire built towards one goal, to defy time itself. Before the pyramids, before the pharaohs, there were stones. Here at Nabta Playa, our ancestors carved the sky into stone, marking time itself with rock and shadow. Were they calendars, temples, the first sacred monuments? We don't know for certain. But here in this forgotten place, we see the first whispers of a civilization that would one day build eternity. Then came the walls. King Khashekhemwy of the second dynasty saw power in stone and clay and walls that rose like mountains, shielding kings from time itself. Not just a fortress, but the first signs of something greater, an empire with the power to shape the land itself. And then a revolution. Djoser dared to defy the earth, stacking stone upon stone, creating something unseen, a stairway to the gods. His name was Imhotep, the first architect, the first man to carve heaven into the earth, and with his vision, the gods had a new home. But a king's ambition cannot be contained. Seneferu, the king who would not settle for steps, the king who would reshape divinity in stone. I am Neb Ma'at. I do not seek justice. I am justice. I do not ask for worship. I am the perfect God. With this, a new age begins. The pyramid is no longer a stairway. It's a monument to a living God, a king whose word is law, whose power is eternal, whose will shapes the heavens and the earth. Before the pyramids, before the pharaohs, there were stones. Here at Nabta Playa, our ancestors carved the sky into stone, marking time itself with rock and shadow. Were they calendars, temples? The first sacred monuments? We don't know for certain. But here in this forgotten place, we see the first whispers of a civilization that would one day build eternity. Then came the walls. King Khashekhemwy of the second dynasty saw power in stone and clay, in walls that rose like mountains, shielding kings from time itself. Not just fortresses, but the first signs of something greater, an empire with the power to shape the land and destiny. And then a revolution. King Djoser dared to defy the earth, stacking stone upon stone, creating something unseen before, a stairway to the gods. His name was Imhotep, the first architect, the first man to carve heaven into the earth, and with his vision, the gods had a new home. But a king's ambition cannot be contained. Seneferu, the king who would not settle for steps, the king who would reshape divinity in stone. I am Neb Ma'at. I do not seek justice. I am justice. I do not ask for worship. I am the perfect God. With this, a new age begins. The pyramid is no longer a stairway. It is a monument to a living God, a king whose word is law, whose power is eternal, whose will shapes the heavens and the earth. and in the shadow of these stones, the world will remember his name forever. For generations, the kings of Egypt followed tradition. Their tombs lay in the sacred lands of Abydos or Saqqara, their rule traced through the blood of those before them. But I will not follow. I will build something greater, something that belongs to me alone. This is what Seneferu was thinking. Saqqara was a city of the dead, Abydos, a land of the kings past. But Madium belonged to no one. It was untouched, a blank canvas waiting for my name. Here I will build my path to eternity. Stone upon stone, the first great pyramid took form. 8 massive steps larger than anything seen before. This was no tomb, this was a stairway to heaven. No longer would the king's journey be tied to the past. The tomb would not face north like those before. It would follow the course of Ra, the sun god himself. From the east I will rise, and in the west I will reign forever. It was done, the first true pyramid, a monument not of my ancestors but of my own will, the first step towards something even greater. But even the greatest visions face challenges, and my path to eternity was only just beginning. Madium was only the beginning. Now, here in Dashur, I would complete what no king before me had dreamed, the first true pyramid, smooth as the rays of Ra, untouched by time. No steps, no imperfections, only perfection, a monument fit for a god. But stone is not as obedient as men. The ground beneath Dashur was softer than Madium, unsteady and treacherous, and we had not foreseen what was to come, the weight shifting down on us. The structure cannot hold, the base is shifting, it is crumbling apart. The architect says that they must change the angle. The priest, however, warns that the gods are not to be pleased. Seneferu, wanting to finish the project, demands that they finish it. He will not leave a ruin. It was not what I had envisioned. A monument of 2 faces, half ambition, half necessity. A reminder that even a king has its limits. A god does not fail, and yet here before me stood proof that even the mighty must bend to the wall of time and stone. But I was not finished. The dream of a perfect pyramid still lived, and I would not rest until I saw it rise. Twice I commanded stone to rise. Twice nature answered with defiance. But a king does not turn away from his vision. He learns, he adapts, and he builds again. Not again. One final time, I will command stone to obey, and this time I will not fail. The earth must be chosen wisely. The desert is not forgiven, and stone will not stand upon shifting sands. The architect has found a great place. This shows itself to be not the work of men alone, but the will of Egypt itself. No sudden adjustments, no desperate corrections. From the start, the angle was lower. Stability over ambition. The red pyramid will not break. 10.5 years, no collapse, no cracks, no bending to time or error. This was a pyramid worthy of eternity. The gods did not punish Swiswan. They watched as it rose, and they let it stand. It was not the first I built, but it was the first to endure. A pyramid without flaw, without weakness. A monument to my will, my reign, my name. Others will build great pyramids, higher, grander. But mine was the first to be perfect. My father, Seneferu, built 3 pyramids before he mastered the art of eternity. His name is written in stone. His monuments stand against time itself. But my name will eclipse his. Dashur was my father's land. Giza is mine, a land of unshakable stone, where the whole of Kemet will see my monuments rise. The bedrock here is strong. Pharaoh, it will not betray us as Darshur did your father. Then let us begin. We will not settle for a pyramid. We will build a wonder. A monument of this scale does not rise from chaos. It is built with order, with precision, with discipline. My men are not mere laborers. They are the lifeblood of this empire. Enough to move mountains. Stone, sweat, will, 1,000 men moving as one. No gods, no magic, only precision and strength. It's not just a tomb, it's a testament to the power and will of man. No kingdom will rival Kemet, no king will rival me, and when the sun sets over this land, it will bow before the monument of Khufu. I shall be remembered for all time, throughout all eternity. I was a farmer. I knew the rhythm of the Nile, the scent of wet earth, the taste of grain fresh from harvest. But now I am something else, a builder of stone, a hand of the king. You work for the pharaoh now. The gods will judge your labor. So we're fed well, better than in the fields. Meat every day, beer to cool the throat, but the overseers eat first. They sleep in real rooms while we lie in the dust. And every night we feel the weight of the stones on our bones. We are not slaves, they tell us, but stone does not care who lifts it. The sun does not care whose back it burns. Each day, men leave the work site limping. Some never return at all. We build eternity, but we will not live to see it. The Pharaoh calls it his stairway to the heavens. We call it the great weight of Egypt, pressing down on our backs. This is not just a tomb. This is the house of the gods. You do not build for a king, you build for the divine. Witness the glory. A symbol of the king's power, a triumph of the pharaoh's will. Perhaps they are right, but as I stand in this shadow, I wonder, do we build for him or does he build it from us? My father built to defy time, but I will rule with the power of the sun itself. I am not merely Pharaoh, but I am the son of Ra. You can cast aside Heru. You claim the name of Ra, but does the sun recognize your throne? The sun does not answer to men, little brother. It only rises where it's meant to. Khafre clings to the past, but the future belongs to the sun, and I will reclaim it in the name of greatness. My brother thought himself the heir of the sun, but I am the one who casts the longest shadow. My father's pyramid will not stand alone. I will show that I am the one whose vision is supported by the ruler of the sky. Stone fades, names are forgotten, but the face of the king will endure. I will carve my image into the body of the lion so that I may watch over Kemet until the end of time. A lion does not bow to another's reign. The sun does not share its throne, and so I remain, watching, unyielding, forever carved into the stone of my kingdom. They say my grandfather reached the heavens. My father carved his name into stone, forever watching over the desert, and I stand among their shadows. Must I do the same? A high priest whispers to the king, "The people say this is not the pyramid of a great one. And would they build it for me if it were larger?" "Sire, the wealth of the throne is stretched thin. The pyramids of your father and grandfather drain more than gold. They drain the land itself." Khufu's pyramid took the strength of the nation. Khafre's held its breath. Mine will not bring Egypt to its knees. For generations, kings ruled through stone. But Egypt is more than stone. It is its people, its wealth, its land. There are other ways to rule a nation. It does not rise like my grandfather's, nor cast shadow like my father's, but it is mine. It will stand, and it will be enough. There will be no others like these. The age of the pyramids fades with the light of the setting sun. The next kings, the future, will rule not with stone, but with words, with temples and armies. But let it be known that I, too, left my mark upon this land. I commanded the Nile. I ruled the two lands. I built a stairway to the gods, a monument that defies times itself. No man before me, no king after me will match what I have done. A mountain of stone built in my name. My face adorned temples. My name was carved in gold. My image stood in the halls of gods. And then it occurs, and they find it. Is this Khufu, the Great? The man whose legacy stands in time? And this is all that remains, a fragment of ivory lost in the sands. This is now the paradox of kingship, a lifetime of rule and empire at my feet, and yet this is what I am now, a figure within four walls of glass, to be looked at, stared at, as a curious wonder. The statue may be forgotten, the name may fade, but my testament will remain immortal to the ends of time.